Let's talk about the most surprising 2-0 teams. So I want this could just be a conversation. We don't have to pick different teams. The 2-0 I might be missing some, but from what I read yesterday, you have the Buccaneers at 2-0, Saints 2-0, Chiefs 2-0, Bills, Texans, Seahawks, Vikings, Steelers, Chargers. Who is the most surprising 2-0 team right now? Darian, why don't you start?
I mean, there's one right there. It's the Vikings. I would not have thought them to be 2-0. We were dogging them when we were
Yeah.
doing the divisions a couple weeks ago. We had no glimmer of hope for them. We thought they were going to be at the bottom of the barrel. They showed that they can ball out. They beat San Francisco, a juggernaut. So they're definitely, to me, the most surprising 2-0 team. I honestly have to give credit to that defense. Just watching them, they're getting after it. They're some tenacious dudes. Forget what his name is. He's a little name dude. He's already second to, yeah, he's second in sacks. He's got four already on the year, maybe four and a half. Um, but he's going crazy. But also the concepts and schemes that they're running are different. And Brian Flores being at the helm of the defense, like you
He's
already know,
aggressive.
he's aggressive. But I saw one TikTok of a guy breaking down something on their defense where Harrison Smith was lined up right next to the edge rusher, and you're thinking, oh, he's coming on a safety blitz. No, this dude ducks out, and it's cover two. So he gets his
Wow.
half of the field in like 3 seconds,
Wow.
just tailing Kittle basically across the field, getting into the middle. So that it was like a 30-yard drop, 40-yard drop. So he's got some crazy things schemed up, and it's confusing offenses. It confused Sam Fran, and they exploited it. So they're definitely, to me, the most surprising 2-0 team.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. I think that the Vikings, the Chargers, I didn't think that we're going to do that well, but they also only like I thought they were going to lose to the Raiders, but they beat the Raiders and the Panthers, so not that bad. But the fact that the Vikings beat the Niners is insane. I mean, if you think about it, it's not even like the Niners did bad. Mason got 100 points. Debo Kittle had 76 yards. I'm sorry, I said points. Mason had 100 yards, over 100 yards rushing. Debo had over 110 yards receiving. Kittle had 76 receiving yards. Purdy had 319 yards. So it's not like they just shit the bed and they stopped playing. They actually did really well.
Mhm.
But the fact that the Vikings defense just held them when they needed to, like that's
Mhm.
what good teams do. And then and their team didn't even do that well. Ty Chandler got 82 yards. JJ had 133 because of that long touchdown, and Darnold had 268. So if you go stat to stat, taking away the score, you would be like, oh, the Niners for sure won. They got but for some reason, I think Darren kind of hit it on the head. The defensive coordinator definitely knows exactly what they're doing. I think I oh no, that was the Texans. I was gonna say something else, but yeah, that was. I'm very surprised that the Vikings are 2-0.
Yeah, I've been really surprised with the Vikings that yeah, like Darian said, we were saying like this team's gonna be terrible and they look good. Darnold looks sharp. But the other teams, the Saints, we just kind of gave them love. I think that's a really surprising 2-0 team. And I'm really surprised at
Yeah.
how well the Buccaneers are looking. The
Mm.
offense for the Buccaneers looks good. Baker looks like he's playing the best football of his career right now, and the defense is still good. Todd Bowles, he really hasn't lost that. He is one of the best defensive minds in the league, and it's showing up. It really showed up against the Lions, and you had Coach Campbell out there doing fourth down fake punts and going for it on fourth down. Campbell, you need to stop that. I'm telling you, that's not going to work in the playoffs. It's going to be a sad ending to your season if you keep doing that. But most surprising 0-2 teams. So there's some surprising names in here. You have the Ravens, who are 0-2. That's I think they said the first time since 2015.
15.
15. They're 0-2. Bengals are 0-2. The Colts are 0-2. Jaguars, Broncos, Panthers, Titans. I guess those last couple ones aren't that surprising, but what about the Ravens, Bengals? Who you guys think is more surprising there?
I think it's the Bengals. I think that I think that we kind of knew there was going to be a lot of change. I mean, we didn't know, but there was a lot of change in Baltimore, and I said this in the very beginning. The fact that they lost some offensive linemen, their offensive lineman's not going to be as good as it was last year. They lost a couple key players on defense. That was going to hurt them, as well as their defensive coordinator. So I didn't think that they were going to go 0-2, but I mean, both of the games that they played, they were pretty close. So they could have been 2-0, and it was just one play away or whatever. But I think the Bengals, I did not think that they were going to be 0-2. I definitely thought they were going to win week 1, and I mean, I know Joey B starts out slow, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. So this is a big week for both of those teams. If they decide to lose, it's completely fine, because we didn't even mention this all show. Very disappointed in myself. The Steelers are number 1 in their division still. So
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I'm not too surprised that the Bengals started out 0-2. They kind of have a track record of starting off slow, but I remember texting the group. I was like, I think Bengals go 0-2, maybe 0-3, and then they're gonna have a crazy like streak or run for the playoffs and just somehow switch it on when everyone's back into their groove. T. Higgins is back. I think it actually starts this week, just with how the Commander secondary is. They're going to have a field day. I think this is going to be Chase's redemption game after putting up, I think, only 24 yards in week 1 and then 37 in week 2 or whatever his stats were. This is where he's going to pop off. But to answer the question, most surprising, I think, is the Ravens. I held them at a higher standard just coming off of last season. I know they lost their defensive coordinator, who's now the head coach for the Seahawks, lost Geno Stone, lost some valuable pieces on the defense side, and I think it's showing.
Yeah.
But I think they are going to have trouble turning it on, especially if you're going against the Cowboys. Are they at Cowboys? This is a home game for the Cowboys.
let me check
Great
right now.
question.
It is at the Cowboys.
Yeah,
It's in Dallas.
You're going on the road. You're playing a team who just got mollywopped at home against the Saints, and they're going to come for vengeance. I think it's going to be a deciding game. This will be like what the season looks like is against the Cowboys. So if they go 0-3, you guys might have been right, them being maybe second, third in the division, because I mean the Steelers might be taking second. If the they're not going to win.
What? We're number
I'm not
1 in
trying
the
to jinx it.
division. How are we
No,
gonna lose?
I'm not trying to jinx you,
It's been 2
bud.
games. It's been 2 games.
2 games.
Nah,
bro.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting the tail end. But,
Yeah.
I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, that second half of the Steelers season looks a lot different than the first half.